Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you isn't written in books. It's not in the courses or the Instagram quotes. These are the unspoken truths, the kind that shape legends in silence while the world is asleep. Everybody wants the glory. Everybody wants the applause, the validation, the recognition that comes when the world finally says, "You've made it." But very few understand where real success is born. It doesn't happen under the spotlight. It doesn't happen when the cameras are rolling or when the world is clapping for you. It happens in silence, in the hours no one records, in the moments you're exhausted, questioning yourself, and yet you keep going. That's where success begins. It's built in the quiet grind, in the invisible work that nobody sees, nobody praises, and nobody celebrates. Because the truth is, the results you dream about are built on the foundation of the effort you give when there's no audience, no applause, and no promise of immediate reward. Those unseen hours are what separate the dreamers from the doers. Everyone has dreams, everyone wants something better for themselves, but not everyone has the courage to show up consistently when the excitement fades. The invisible work is what turns vision into reality. It's what shapes your character, sharpens your skill, and hardens your resolve. When you choose to put in effort, even when there's no visible progress, you are rewriting your future one step at a time. Because here's the truth. Success doesn't announce its arrival. It sneaks up quietly on those who have earned it through relentless dedication. The unseen effort, the repetition, the tiny, often boring tasks, those are the bricks that build greatness. There will be days when you feel unseen, underappreciated, maybe even invisible. You'll wonder if the long nights and early mornings are worth it. You'll question if your hard work is leading anywhere at all. But that's the test. The invisible work tests your faith, your patience, and your belief in yourself. It's not designed to break you. It's designed to prepare you. Every time you show up when it's easier to give up, you're strengthening the muscle of resilience. You're proving to yourself that your commitment runs deeper than your comfort. And that right there is the foundation of unshakable success. Because when you learn to thrive in the unseen, you become unstoppable in the spotlight. Think about the world's greatest athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone you admire. What you see is only the final performance, the polished result. What you don't see are the thousands of repetitions, the failures, the moments of self-doubt that they fought through. You see the finished painting, not the canvas covered in discarded strokes. You see the highlight reel, not the hours of practice when nothing seemed to go right. But that invisible work, that's where they became who they are. Because mastery doesn't happen when the world is watching. It happens when you keep pushing yourself long after everyone else has stopped. It's the discipline to stay the course when results are delayed that builds the kind of success that lasts. And let's be honest, the invisible work isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's repetitive. It demands sacrifice. You'll miss out on moments. You'll face criticism. And you'll carry the weight of dreams no one else can see. People may doubt you, underestimate you, even laugh at your effort. But that's exactly what makes the invisible work sacred. It's the space where you grow without noise, where you plant seeds that the world won't notice until they bloom. You can't expect people to understand your grind if they've never seen your vision. Your journey will often make sense only in hindsight. And that's okay, because true builders don't need validation. They need direction. They trust the process even when it's slow, even when it's silent. The secret is this: the invisible work changes you. It's not just about skill. It's about becoming. Every repetition rewires your discipline. Every setback deepens your strength. Every silent victory expands your belief. The work you do in private is the reason you'll be unstoppable in public. So don't rush the process. Don't crave shortcuts. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Your journey is yours for a reason. You're not falling behind. You're building beneath the surface. And one day, when your moment comes, people will call you lucky, without realizing how much invisible work that luck cost you. So remember this: the world may not see your effort right now. It may not applaud your sacrifices, your consistency, your relentless pursuit, but that doesn't mean it's wasted. Every late night, every lonely hour, every quiet choice to keep going, it all counts, it all builds. Because success doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time. It's not created in the spotlight, it's earned in the shadows. And when your time finally comes, when the world sees what you've built, they'll call it success. But you'll know the truth. It was the invisible work that made it inevitable. The world loves to tell you to stay balanced, to take it easy, to slow down. They say don't push too hard, don't want too much, don't be so obsessed. But the truth, every person who has ever built something extraordinary, something that changed lives, something that mattered, was obsessed. Obsession is not the enemy of peace, it's the fuel of purpose. It's the fire that burns when motivation fades. It's the reason you wake up before the alarm. Why you can't stop thinking about your dream even when you're exhausted. Obsession is not about losing control, it's about finding clarity so sharp it cuts through doubt. It's the voice inside you that refuses to accept average when greatness is possible. The world will call it too much, but that's because they've settled for just enough. The truth about obsession is that it demands everything, but it gives back more. It will test you. It will stretch your patience, your relationships, and your limits. But it will also reveal what you're truly capable of. When you become obsessed with your purpose, you stop waiting for permission. You stop asking for validation. You stop needing someone else to believe in your dream before you do. You start showing up differently. You walk differently. You think differently. You start crafting a life that doesn't revolve around what's easy, but around what's necessary. Because success doesn't come to those who dabble, it comes to those who dive in completely. You can't half commit to greatness. You can't tiptoe toward your calling. You must throw yourself into it fully and unapologetically. People often confuse obsession with madness. But there's a difference. Madness is losing yourself to chaos. Obsession, when guided by purpose, is where discipline and passion collide. It's where focus becomes your superpower. It's not about burning out, it's about burning brighter. When you're obsessed, you're not distracted by comparison or noise. You're too focused on the mission. You stop living reactively and start creating intentionally. You stop talking about what you'll do someday and start building it today. Every second becomes sacred, every action intentional. And that's when you begin to feel something powerful. Momentum. The kind of momentum that turns ordinary people into forces of nature. Of course, obsession will make people uncomfortable. It will expose the insecurities of those who play small. They'll say you've changed, and they're right. Because obsession transforms you. It strips away laziness, entitlement, and excuses. It forces you to evolve into someone who can handle the weight of their own dreams. It demands honesty. You can't fake obsession. It shows in how you move, how you speak, how you show up. You lose people along the way, not because you did something wrong, but because your growth will outpace their comfort. And that's okay. The prick. E of becoming your best self is often paid in solitude. But obsession rewards you with something far greater. Clarity, power, and the kind of fulfillment that comfort can never buy. If you want to know how badly you want something, look at what you're willing to sacrifice for it. Obsession doesn't mean you neglect your life, it means you elevate it. You trade temporary pleasure for long-term purpose. You choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Because you understand that mastery takes time, and greatness is earned, not given. Every hour spent refining your craft, every failure dissected and learned from, every sacrifice made, that's the price. But once you taste progress, once you see even the smallest glimpse of your potential coming to life, that obsession becomes your strength. It becomes the energy that keeps you awake when others sleep, the drive that keeps you moving when others stop, the hunger that turns potential into power. And one day, when your results speak louder than your words, the same people who called you too obsessed will call you inspiring. They'll celebrate what they once questioned. They'll want the results without the relentless drive. But only you will know the truth, that the life you're living wasn't luck or talent or timing. It was obsession. It was the unshakable commitment to a vision no one else could see. You built it, step by step, day after day, fueled by something deeper than motivation. You built it with the kind of focus that can't be taught, only chosen. Because you decided that your dream was worth your whole heart, your whole effort, your whole being. So remember this. Obsession isn't something to hide. It's something to harness. It's the heartbeat of every revolution, the spark behind every masterpiece, the force that turns ordinary people into legends. Don't let anyone convince you that wanting something deeply is wrong. The ones who changed the world weren't the most balanced. They were the most committed. The fire inside you is not too much, it's exactly enough. So feed it, protect it. Let it consume every excuse, every doubt, every limitation. Because when you embrace your obsession, you don't just chase your dream, you become it. And that's where true greatness begins. Rejection hurts, it cuts through your confidence and leaves behind questions that echo louder than any applause ever could. You start to wonder, am I not good enough? Did I make a mistake? Was I foolish to even try? But here's the truth that nobody tells you when you're drowning in that disappointment. Rejection is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the universe whispering, this isn't your door. And sometimes, you're too close to the pain to see that what you're calling a loss is actually protection. The people who rejected you, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the doors that slammed shut, they weren't punishing you, they were guiding you. Every no you've ever received was a redirection, a nudge steering you away from what wasn't meant for your purpose and toward what was built for your becoming. When you learn to see rejection through that lens, everything changes. You stop taking it personally. You stop letting it define your worth. Instead, you start asking deeper questions. What is this trying to teach me? What's the bigger plan here? Because every rejection carries a lesson. It shows you where you need to grow, where you need to shift, where you need to realign your energy. Rejection refines you. It sharpens your focus. It forces you to evaluate your path, not to give up, but to level up. Think about it. If every opportunity had worked out, you wouldn't have developed the grit, the perspective, or the strength that you now carry. Sometimes the door that doesn't open isn't locked against you. It's locked for you because what's waiting beyond it isn't aligned with the person you're meant to become. But rejection only becomes redirection when you refuse to quit. Most people give up right before the breakthrough. They take one no as a full stop instead of a comma. They shrink, they hide. They let one closed door convince them the whole world is sealed shut. But you can't let temporary rejection define permanent limits. You have to keep walking. You have to trust that the detour still leads to the destination. Every rejection is testing one thing, your belief in yourself. Do you believe in your vision enough to keep moving even when the world says no? Because if your belief wavers every time someone doubts you, then you're building your dream on sand, not stone. The ones who rise are the ones who take rejection as information, not condemnation. They adjust, they adapt, and they advance. Rejection also reveals who you are when the applause fades. Anyone can feel powerful when they're winning, but who are you when the doors close? Who are you when people stop believing in you? That's when your true character is formed. Rejection strips away the illusions and exposes your raw essence. It asks, do you want it bad enough? Will you fight for it even when it's not easy? Because if you can face rejection and still stand tall, you've already won half the battle. The other half is patience. Trusting that what's yours cannot be taken, only delayed. It's easy to see rejection as failure when you're in the middle of it. But one day you'll look back and realize that every no was simply a not yet. Every setback was a setup. Every fall was positioning you for a higher climb. And make no mistake, rejection isn't just part of success, it's the foundation of it. The most powerful people in history have been rejected more times than most of us have tried. They've been laughed at, dismissed, ignored, But they didn't let that define them. They turned rejection into fuel. Every no became motivation. Every closed door became a challenge, because here's the secret. Rejection gives you clarity. It forces you to ask yourself, how bad do I want this? If the answer is bad enough to start again, then congratulations. You've already transformed rejection into power. You've turned pain into purpose. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who never got rejected. They're the ones who refuse to stay down after they did. So the next time rejection comes, don't flinch. Don't curse it. Don't let it harden your heart. Let it shape you instead. Let it sharpen your purpose and strengthen your persistence. Let it remind you that you are being redirected towards something far greater than what you lost. You may not understand it right now, but one day you will. One day you'll look back at every missed opportunity and whisper, thank you. Because if you had gotten what you thought you wanted, you might have missed what you truly needed. So remember this. Rejection is not failure, it's feedback. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every no you hear is pushing you closer to the yes that will change your life. Trust the detours. Respect the delays. Embrace the redirection. Because life isn't taking something from you. It's moving you towards something better, stronger, truer. Rejection isn't your enemy. It's your compass. Follow it, and it will lead you exactly where you're meant to be. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you become. Too often people run toward the idea of achievement without first deciding who they are. They chase titles, awards, recognition, believing those things will finally give them validation. But here's the truth. You can collect every trophy, every title, every paycheck, and still feel empty if you haven't built a foundation of identity underneath it. Because success built without self-awareness is fragile. It crumbles under pressure, under criticism, under doubt. Real success, the kind that lasts, begins the moment you stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, who do I need to become? You don't attract the life you want. You attract the life that matches who you are. That's W. High identity must come before achievement. Most people think success is about doing more. More effort, more hustle, more hours. But before you can do more, you must be more. You can't outwork an identity that doesn't believe it deserves greatness. If you see yourself as unworthy, unprepared, or undeserving, you'll unconsciously sabotage the very things you work for. You'll question your worth every time you step into a bigger room. You'll apologize for taking up space when you should be owning it. That's why the inner work comes first. Building your identity means confronting the old stories that have kept you small, the doubts, the fears, the insecurities you've carried from childhood. You can't achieve lasting success if you're still operating from a version of yourself that was built to survive, not thrive. Your success will only grow to the level of your self-belief. The moment you start defining yourself from within, everything changes. You stop waiting for people to tell you who you are. You stop shrinking when someone misunderstands your worth. You stop chasing approval because you've already approved of yourself. That kind of confidence is unshakable because it's not built on external noise. It's built on internal truth. When you know who you are, rejection doesn't sting as deeply. Failure doesn't destroy you. Criticism doesn't define you because you're no longer performing for validation. You're expressing your purpose. And that's the difference between chasing success and embodying it. One is exhausting, the other is empowering. One burns out, the other builds legacy. Identity isn't built overnight, it's a choice you make daily. It's in the small promises you keep to yourself, the way you show up when no one's watching, the standards you refuse to lower even when no one would blame you if you did. It's built in the quiet moments when you decide, this is who I am, and this is who I am becoming. Every time you act in alignment with that, you reinforce your identity. Every time you make choices that match your vision, you're building the character to hold your future. Because let's be honest, success will test you. It will expose you. If you don't know who you are, you'll get lost in the noise. You'll start chasing what looks good instead of what feels right. But when you're grounded in identity, you move differently. You make decisions from conviction, not desperation. You create from clarity, not comparison. Here's the thing. Achievements can be taken away. Titles can change. Money can disappear. But identity, that's yours forever. That's why the greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in your business, your career, or your image. It's in your character. When you build an identity based on integrity, consistency, and growth, you become unstoppable. Because even if everything falls apart, you know how to rebuild. You've already proven to yourself that you're not defined by what you have, but by who you are. That's what makes you powerful. People who lead with identity don't need to chase opportunities, they create them. They don't need to compete for attention, they command respect. Because the world always follows those who know who they are. And when that kind of person achieves success, it means something. It's not just about money or fame, it's about purpose, it's about impact.